Hi, welcome back to the 2019 Jayhawk Baseball Show. I am Coach Guzman, the head coach of the Muskegon Community College Jayhawk Baseball Program. I have with me my assistant, Coach Garret Moyer, today. We're just going to kind of talk shop. This is segment 2 to a 4-segment series. Just kind of giving you an inside view to the baseball program here at the college. Our first segment was just after the Glen Oaks series, conference opener, and since then we've had 3 series, 4-game series rather, and so we're just going to kind of pick up with the Kalamazoo Valley series, and we just completed the Grand Rapids Community College series, and kind of where we head from here, and how we make the the goal of the postseason regional in Sandusky, Ohio. So, Coach Moyer, let's start with the Kalamazoo Valley series. We were 16-4 going into that series. I think they were pretty good.
No, yeah, definitely. They were hands down the best team we've seen yet, for sure. And we were on a hot streak, and we were feeling real good. And after that first inning, I think they jumped on us right away. And I think you said it the best. Some of the kids had some bug eyes. I mean, it was an eye-opener for some kids as far as the level we have to get to in our conference, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of times with the freshmen, I just say a lot of wide eyes that they're kind of, I think, surprised by the talent level. It's easy to try to make them aware of it.
Right.
But when you see it firsthand, all of a sudden you may take a couple steps back and go, oh boy, I do still have some work to get done that the coaches have kind of been telling me, and I kind of just thought maybe I was a little further along than I am.
Yeah, most definitely. That's exactly what happened. And, they came out and they jumped on us early, and we really battled them all series. It was a really good series. I mean, we took 3 L's to 1 W, but a lot of the games were closer. They were closely played. They were competitive. And, in that first game, they jumped on us and we battled back, and we would hit them back with a punch and get close to tying the game and getting momentum. And we made a couple base running blunders that really costed us momentum. And we ended up losing that game by 2 runs. But, and Don threw well. He was injured and he was giving it everything he had. And their pitcher was solid. It was definitely the best pitching we've seen too. But our kids made adjustments after that, and we really battled them. I mean, it was a good series, and it was a good learning experience that our kids had to go through, definitely.
Yeah, Kalamazoo Valley got the best of us. They took 3 of 4. The second game of the series, we ended up dropping that one 2-0. We did leave the bases loaded twice with nobody out in that game, so that loss hurt. They did sneak game 3 from us as well. And then we simply expressed to the team the importance of the conference victories, and we were able to salvage one. And that set us up well, and I thought we gained momentum going into the Ancilla series, and we were able to sweep all 4 there. So that really helped, and it kind of set us up for a very competitive Grand Rapids series. The Ancilla series, I thought we just played pretty well all the way around. Our pitching was pretty good. The bats got going. Now they were a scrappy team.
Oh yeah, definitely. And after the K Valley series, we took the last game and we went on a streak. I mean, I think that really gave us momentum for our next, because I think we played 4 non-conference games that week before we played Ancilla, and we won all 4 of those games going into Ancilla. And they were definitely a better Ancilla team than what we've seen. I mean, they've been in the bottom tier of our conference, and they got a new coach over there, and they have a different tone for sure. And it was noticed right away because they actually jumped on us too a little bit.
Yeah, I think they were up 5-0 in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, it happened quick, and everybody was just kind of a little shocked, and it was like, whoa. It was like, we tried to explain to the kids as well. It's like, man, you can't sleep on these teams and come in here flat, and that's exactly what happened. And they definitely punched us in the mouth, and they almost took one from us is what happened.
Yeah, and the kids responded well to the 5-0 deficit in the first game. But our conference is very, very, very competitive. Right now there's kind of a gap a little bit between the top 5 and the bottom 3. But, there's still 12 games remaining in the conference season.
Yep.
And it'll be kind of neat to see where everybody falls in. We're in the thick of things, obviously. So, you know, that the 4-game sweep of Ancilla kind of set us up for the Grand Rapids series. You know, I think after the 9-game winning streak that we were on, we may have kind of got a little bit lackadaisical going into that Grand Rapids series. That being a backyard brawl as it is every single year.
It doesn't matter. The record seems like it's always a competitive series for sure.
Yeah, I think in my 15 years here, the overall record of Muskegon and Grand Rapids head-to-head is 1 win either way. So, I mean, it's always just a knockdown, drag-out, backyard brawl that's great to watch for the community. You know, and they once again, they got 3 of 4 this week. Now, we did get the last one yesterday.
Yep.
Probably saved our regional aspirations. And now we'll need to play well going down the stretch.
Yeah, most definitely. And even after Ancilla, I mean, we played a couple more non-conference games right before Grand Rapids. So I think you said it best. One of the quotes, it was, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. And, you know, I think maybe our team got a little too high possibly before that Grand Rapids series. Thought maybe, you know, they were going to maybe fold because they had just lost 3 to Lake Michigan, which, you know, everybody was kind of a little like, wow, well, what's going on? And little did they, you know, realize they're a good baseball team. I mean, they came out and played. We got punched in the mouth is what happened.
Yes. And, you know, and Lake Michigan has a new coaching staff, and, you know, Coach Wasserman's done a great job with them. We actually finished our conference season with them.
Yep.
I'm sure there will be regional complications on that. We'll need to play well to get to where we're trying to get to as a program.
Yep.
He's done a great job with his team. He's been very active recruiting. We felt that a little bit going into our 2020 class as far as recruiting goes. But so that sets up well for the season finale series against Lake Michigan out of Benton Harbor. So Grand Rapids took 3 of 4 from us. We are currently 10-6 in conference. There's 12 games remaining for everybody in the conference. Strength of schedule kind of plays to our favor, I think, just a little bit.
Yep.
I think Grand Rapids Community College's pitching has came around.
Oh, yeah.
The first 2 we've seen were pretty tough.
Yeah. No, they were the best we've seen for sure. And, you know, it's the first 2 games we played Grand Rapids, it's cold, it's a little windy, you know, we make every excuse in the book, you know, but, you know, if you've ever played baseball, you know when it's cold outside and, you know, as a hitter, you're feeling like, woo, and these guys are shoving it, you know, 86 to 88 miles per hour. It's, you know, it's tough. It's a tough day to hit, you know, and our bats really didn't wake up. They've been pretty consistent, you know, up to that point, and our bats just kind of went, phew. And our pitching was pretty good. I mean, they kept us in the game all 3 games that we lost. I mean, we had chances to win the game, and we just never really got the timely hit.
Yeah, you know, I think our pitching has been one of our blessings for the year. It's definitely given us an opportunity to win some baseball games this year. Currently sitting at 26-10, trying to get to the 30 mark, and then we'll look at the 35 win mark hopefully, and we can attain that by the end of the season. But yeah, our pitching's been great. I think Sean Casey's been our best.
Yeah, he's came up big in some big games. I mean, the very last game at K Valley, he threw for us to get the win, and it was a must win. And he really came out and set the tone, and it just battled and battled and battled. And then he did the same exact thing against Grand Rapids. It was a must win. He came out and set the tone, and it was awesome to see. I mean, he's been our go-to guy as a far.
Yep, Sean has recently committed to Purdue Northwest University, so he'll get to extend his career for another 2 years. But yeah, he's literally carried us on his back in the 2 must-have season-ending conference games that we've had to have, or we're probably just going to play out the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's been just the ultimate competitor. Mm-hmm. You know, we've been swinging it as well as we've needed to when we've needed to.
Yep.
So that's kind of kept us alive and in the hunt. You know, Jeremy Carthen out of Brunswick, Ohio, has been pretty tough. John Henry out of Toronto has been really good. Zach Northcott out of Walled Lake Northern's been really good. I think you can talk a little bit more on the hitting, but that's been pretty good to this point. Overall, very, very happy with where we're at. Obviously, trying to get to the postseason and just kind of build off that and have some momentum going off that Lake Michigan series and hopefully make a good, strong contention of capturing the NJCAA Region 12 regional championship. So
yeah, we got, we still have to handle our business. The best thing about our season is it's still in our hands, essentially. We don't have to depend on other teams to win and lose necessarily if we go out and handle our business. And I think we have Mid-Michigan this weekend. Their first-year program that's snuck some wins from some teams. I mean, they're right in the middle of a great baseball place. They're bringing players in from good areas that have good baseball, so that they're going to be tough. They're not going to be a slouch, and we got to go in there and handle our business for sure and try and take 4 from them to head towards that goal that we have, is making the regional tournament.
Yeah, big weekend for us here in Muskegon. We traveled to Shepherd High School, is where Mid-Michigan's playing their home games this spring. Excuse me. And then we'll have a 2-game series here on this upcoming Saturday where we'll host the Lakers of Mid-Michigan. We do have some community involvement this weekend, so if you're not busy, we'd like you to stop out. We'll have one of the local travel teams kind of mirroring our team for batting practice.
Yeah.
Should be a great experience for, I believe, their 11U.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff for those kids to come in, and our players do a really good job of going in there, and they just mirror our players. Each kid has a college kid they follow around, and it's usually a really good experience. I mean, that's the best part about our team and our being a college athlete is that they get to influence these younger kids, and it's awesome because when you're younger, you always have your favorite player or things of that nature. So when those kids come in here and you see them smiling and just having a good time, it just brings everybody up. So it's awesome stuff that we've put that together.
Yeah, generally speaking, we'll have a player from the area that the travel team will bring in, and so we'll be able to put hopefully a future Jayhawk student athlete. With a current Jayhawk student athlete, so it sets up well. I think it's good for the college, it's good for the community, and most importantly, good for the young man that gets to see another student athlete from his area who has kind of set the path for what the next student athlete could do. Of playing. For those that have aspirations of playing at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
So it kind of. It's a stepping stone. It's great for them. Our kids really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it just keeps you young. That's probably what I love most about baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I started here in the fall of '03 on the staff. Some of our players now, I was just talking with one of the high school coaches in the area here, and he tells me he's turning 36 this year. So I think I started at 28, probably pretty similar to where you are. And to think that the 15, 16 years has kind of went by, and to still be in contact with some of these guys who now have families and they're coaching, and and kind of watch them kind of further their careers, and I mean that's really what it's all about. Of course, the wins and losses are nice,
right?
But just helping set student athletes up for their future, and that's probably the greatest reward of why we do what we do.
Exactly.
Let's talk about our offense a little bit. I think we're averaging a little over 7 runs a game.
Yep. I think we're hitting just above. We were about 320 in this series. We dropped a little bit. I think we're right around 310 as a team. I'm pretty sure we have about 6 guys hitting above 300. We have 2 guys currently hitting over 400. So our lineup is really nice, and they've been done really well. Like I said, we've been really consistent for the most part. It just one weekend of baseball, and it just seems to happen. They went quiet. Our bats just went quiet. It's unfortunately we didn't play our best baseball against Grand Rapids. But like we said, we're just moving forward. But I think Colin Hausman's been. I like to call him Mr. Consistent. It's like he's going to get a hit, he's going to score a run or an RBI. He's always going to do at least something in the game. Tyus has been hot for the most part. He's one of the kids hitting over 400. He's just, I would say he has one of the better approaches on our team mentally. He handles off speed really well. And the guy that's come alive is Jake Conklin. And I wish we had a bunch of Jane Conklins, man. His story's pretty awesome, and he's really come around and he had a huge series against KVCC. You know, he stayed hot against Ancilla, and it's just awesome to see his growth because his story's pretty awesome, and he's come a long way, and so that's pretty cool. On top of that, we have, John Henry. He's been Mr. Do-It-All for the most part. He plays some first base, some outfield, and he's hitting over 400, so he's been getting in the lineup. I'd say the weakest part of our lineup is our leadoff guy. We've been working on trying to find a leadoff. It seems like every game we've kind of started with a strikeout or just somebody that can set the tone. That's been our toughest spot to fill. And we stuck Houseman in there this weekend, and I think he did a little bit better job. Drew a walk, had a couple good at-bats to lead the game off, so we might head in that direction. But Nolan, he has a pretty good eye at the plate for the most part. I mean, we wish everybody wishes their average could be a little better, but, he's got a little bit of pop. I think in that 1 week he hit 2 home runs in 1 week, so he got hot for a minute. He draws a lot of walks. He's got a good eye. So it's been good. We think we're just going to come back alive, hopefully. Everybody went silent for a weekend, and we're just going to get right back to it, get back to the details, and work on hitting.
I think you can tip your hat to the Raiders pitching for a majority of our bats going silent too. I would think the one that they have over there is probably going to sign Division I somewhere. I think he's a 6'8" righty that was 86 to 91, controlling 4 pitches. He was a tough egg, and he kept his composure. We put some pressure on him. He was able to silence the bats when he needed.
Yep.
One of our former staff is now on their staff over there, so that only raises the temperature of the series.
Yep.
A mentor of mine and yours as well.
Yep.
And we were able to salvage one. The last 12 games of the conference season, we have Mid-Michigan this weekend. Next weekend we have the perennial powerhouse of the MCC AA conference being the Kellogg Bruins. And then we finish up with Lake Michigan College, which, as we've mentioned already today, they're kind of up and coming.
Yep.
So it's not an easy road by any means. It looks to be a battle for that third spot to get to the postseason between us, Grand Rapids, and Lake Michigan.
Yep.
Grand Rapids having the toughest schedule strength, and Lake Michigan probably having the easiest outside of us. So it sets up well for a very exciting finish to the conference season. Obviously, we hope to be the team that makes it to the regional and get to make the trip down to Sandusky. Hopefully spend a day at Cedar Point while we're down there, but we're going to compete and win a regional championship. That's why we put in the 10 months, 40, 50 hours a week that we do. It's just the priceless glory, as I like to call it, in setting up young men for their futures. And I think currently we have 5 signed to play at the next level of our 10 sophomores. And plenty of activity, obviously, when you're 26 and 10, that the higher ups are looking at our kids right now, and it sets a great foundation or road, I guess, for this year's freshmen. So expect probably in segment 3 that we'll have announcements for some of our other sophomores on where they'll continue to play. We've been really strong in the GLIAC over the last 5 years. Actually, 3 of last year's players were all players of the week in the GLIAC last week. So it tells us from a coaching staff that we're doing some good things. I think it helps the kids to continue to buy into what we're selling them. And it just should have the positive repercussions of setting up the road for the future. So the Mid-Michigan Series, they're a new program. Scouting report on them is they play a lot of small ball, which means they'll be doing a lot of running and a lot of bunting. I would assume the pitching's probably down a little bit for them, being that they're just getting started. And I think Coach Brown got started a little late on the recruiting aspect. But they're in the mecca of Michigan as far as talent level and as far as baseball goes in Michigan, being the Mount Pleasant area. So you can expect they'll be a team to beat here in the next couple years.
Oh yeah.
But we're hoping to take 4 while we're there. or at least salvage 3 and continue the climb to the postseason, as far as Jayhawk baseball goes.
Yeah, and that's really the approach we're taking. I mean, we talk about the ultimate goal all the time, and making regional. But when we're at practice and we're talking, it's the next game's the most important game of the year for the most part. It's the next game. We can't look too far ahead. That's the ultimate goal. But our short-term goal is, what can we do better at practice as far as off a tee? Just details is where we're at right now. And as far as location with pitching, we do have to get our walks down a little bit. Sometimes we walk a handful of guys, but in our defenses, it's just been good to get out of jams. We've been a pretty good team, and we get ourselves out of jams at time, and sometimes it's hurt us, But pretty much just that mentality, one game at a time. It's, I like to call it the March Madness, basketball tourney. Obviously, it's win or go home mentality. Your backs are against the wall, everyone matters, and that's how we're going to approach it.
Yep. Yeah, our two backs to the wall games being the 4th game of the Kalamazoo Valley series and the 4th game of the Grand Rapids series, our kids responded well.
Yep.
I've had to tell them that this is make or break to our season, and fortunately we were able to salvage one,
right,
and keep our drive alive.
Yeah, yeah.
So the injury report currently really hasn't helped us a whole lot.
Yeah, the injury bug has hit us a little bit. It definitely has. I think, Tommy McCullough's been playing probably at about 70%, and I think he's still hitting around 370. I mean, he's just been gritting it out, and, we're hoping he can get healthy. I mean, that's another goal of ours this week, and hopefully against, after this weekend, if we can get out of it with some wins, we can hopefully try and get healthy. I mean, Tommy's hurt, Tyson's not playing 100%. Beach is still not even 100% from his injury.
John Henry.
John Henry's finger, it was hard for him to pitch. He has a hurt finger from throwing too many great sliders, so it hats baseball.
Jarrett Prinz out of Grand Haven yesterday took one off
broke his nose.
We think it's broke. It's probably going to be tough for him to see the ball if he's got a face mask on, per se.
Yeah.
But just kind of an example, Sean Casey hasn't been 100%. He's also out of Grand Haven.
Yep.
But he's just been gritting it out for the program. Tyus Beach had a rotator cuff surgery going into January.
Yep.
And what it's allowed is it's allowed our team to create some depth.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Hilliard out of Coleman has stepped up for us very well. As you mentioned, John Henry out of Canada's kind of been our do-all guy. And he started, he's a rotation guy as well. Tyson Seymour out of Gladstone in the Upper Peninsula, he tweaked his knee a little bit.
Yeah,
it's still kind of lingering.
Yep.
So for Hilliard to come in yesterday and give us some quality innings when Tyson re-aggravated that knee was key.
Yep.
Nolan Parent out of Hudsonville has been giving us some quality innings.
Yep.
So it's been good as far as our depth is concerned. It's kind of kept us in the race, and it sets up well for next year, obviously, with those freshmen getting in to gain some valuable experience.
Yep.
So yes, we're hoping to get healthier here in the next week. Hopefully, McCullough's probably he's out of Allendale. He's gonna have to sit this series out. I think.
Yep.
I'd love to rest Seymour if possible.
If possible, yeah.
I don't think we're going to have a say in the matter with Prinz.
Right.
So it's still a lot of work to be done here at Muskegon Community College as far as us getting to the postseason.
And obviously, it's just like it's next man up mentality. I mean, and like you said, the depth has been great, and kids have been working hard, and we've talked about that. I mean, it's baseball. It's a long season, and it's up and down for the most part. And we've told kids from the get-go, like, you need to work hard every day because your time's going to come. It's too long of a season. It's just it's hard to stay healthy for a whole season.
Yeah, I mean, a prime example is yesterday in our most important game of the season. Our best hitter up to date. Actually, I think he went hitless for the weekend. And so for our most important game of the year, our best hitter isn't in the lineup because he's probably 0 for 16. And so, Antoine Danner out of Chicago steps in. I don't even know that they're aware how important the game is necessarily, but he gave us valuable innings.
Yeah.
And we were able to get it done. So, I mean, that kind of stuff is just going to set up well for us down the stretch here, where obviously we'll need to play well to get to where we're, trying to go. But if we can just get a little healthier, I like our chances, and we should end up where we need to be.
Yeah, if there's anything real plus about our team is they're resilient. I mean, they don't give in for the most part. I mean, even when we were down in a lot of games, they just do not give in. I'd say the biggest thing is we get off to maybe a little slow start than we normally want to, but they don't give in, and it shows.
Yeah, they compete, and that's a tribute to the coaching staff and all the things we work on as far as the mental toughness. I mean, Grand Rapids was beating us up pretty good for us to get our legs back under us and to get one, which saved the season.
Yeah, keeps it alive.
Keeps it alive, and us trying to win down the stretch here, where I think looking at it, we'll need to win a minimum of 7 of our last 12 conference games, but more than likely 8.
Yep.
I'm hoping to get 1 from Kellogg.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, handle our business with Mid-Michigan and Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
So the pitching's been solid. We've had some players, some freshmen step up as of late. Prinz kind of has been a blessing offensively. Not to say he hasn't been good defensively, but he's also helped us some key innings pitching.
Yeah, he's also one of those do-it-all guys. I mean, he's been everywhere.
He's been everywhere. Nolan Perrin, catches, he DHs, he plays first. So we've had some big players. We used 16 players yesterday in the game 4 of the series to get that win done.
Yep.
So, we have the depth. We just kind of hope the injuries stay away for the last 3 weeks.
We can get healed up for sure.
Get healed. Hopefully have some momentum going into the postseason.
Yep.
And look to make some noise down there in Ohio. If we're one of the teams that plays well enough down the stretch to get there.
Right.
And that's why we grind and do the things we do to this point. From a recruiting standpoint, still looking for a couple power arms if possible. We were able to snag one of the better arms here in the area out of Muskegon Oak Ridge, and we're hoping he shows up with the right mindset.
Yep.
We've done pretty well recruiting as far as the year goes. Our number 1 recruit, left-handed stud out of Paw Paw this year, had to medically redshirt.
Yeah, that's another one.
He ended up, the shoulders just kind of been lingering through the whole season. We've got a 2-time All-Stater out of Traverse City Christian that took the year off to redshirt with a shoulder injury. He's been smashing balls as good as anybody in the last few weeks. And it just sets up well for the next couple of years.
Yep.
And we're excited to kind of see where we go. But definitely, pitching, generally good pitching beats good hitting.
Yep.
And we're hoping to snag a couple more arms, because we know the guys that we're competing against that's their goal as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's baseball. 100%.
But this, as mentioned earlier, this is a 4-segment series of the Jayhawk Baseball Show. This being segment 2. We'll probably catch you here before the last segment. Segment 3 will be probably before the Lake Michigan series, and you'll get a good idea of where we need to get to for us to get to where we're trying to go as far as the NJCAA Region 12 series. And how we get there, and it'll be kind of how we've done it in the Mid-Michigan series, how we've done in the Kellogg series, and then how the last series sets up and what we'll need to do. More than likely, it'll be us win 2. Hopefully, somebody else has to drop 1, and maybe we just get 1. But should be an exciting series down the stretch.
Yep.
If you guys can get out and get a chance to watch us play this weekend, that'd be great. As always, thanks to the community sponsors for all that they do. Get out, grab a hot dog, some popcorn, watch Jayhawk baseball. It's the highest level in the area at the current time. So come on out. We'd love to see you guys. And as always, go Jayhawks.
Go Jayhawks.